The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
I almost forgot to hit the button, but I didn't. So we're giving it a moment.
Well, we won't let you go because I'm your designated fill-in and I don't feel like coming in. So.
Thank you for that. Job security brought to you by Zach East.
There's only like 4 of us that still work here, Ken.
But it's a good 4 of us. It's a good 4 of us. And good morning. It's 8:14. It's the WSJM Morning Show, Tuesday, June 23rd. And why don't we do the traffic update that you brought to me? So when I drove by Napier and Niles this morning, it was just fine. There was no road blockage whatsoever.
What time was that? Like 4 in the morning?
It was 4 a.m., a little before 4 a.m.
Gross. I don't know how you do that.
The traffic is wonderful.
Of course.
At that time of day.
The stoplights sometimes aren't, though. They don't notice you're there.
But you just drove through, and so I guess a couple hours ago.
Yeah, it's Niles and Napier. They've put up a detour and closed the road right at Niles and Napier in St. Joe, and they are detouring folks on to Botham or to other side streets of Langley to get to Napier again.
You get to do a little bit of sightseeing by the hospital there.
Yes. Everything went fine, but it was very much a surprise that I certainly didn't see anything and know much about it. So I figured if anyone's going that direction and you think you're going to try to leave late and get there on time, do not think that that's the case.
Okay.
Please take extra time.
So it sounds like between Langley and Niles Avenue there on Napier, you're going to run into a traffic detour.
Yes.
Be aware for an unknown length of time. We'll ask the city what's going on there. It's weird. They often do the pop-up detours in that very location, and I scratch my head every time because I don't see major construction happening on anything, and certainly no notice.
Well, because it's such a main thoroughfare for a lot of utilities to get to one town to the other, to get to the hospital. Yeah. Plus, there's stuff on poles that we sometimes don't think about. And I imagine that it's probably something like that, or it's a surprise water main break, because that happens too.
Or it could be they're feeding the dragon. There's a dragon under the road, and they're feeding the dragon.
Wow.
That could be it.
It really went off the rails,
If you ever notice, there's a hill there, an inexplicable hill as you go up. It doesn't appear except for when the dragon's hungry.
I imagine that hill was created in part of the ice form or something that carved the riverbed.
Fine. It's 8:16. It's the WSJM.
Science versus fantasy, Ken.
Let's put it back on the rails. Dragon wants to eat. All right, so we've got.
Think of that every time you say that, or every time I drive through there.
United We Thrive, United Way of Southwest Michigan. Not fantasy at all. A real organization that does a lot of good work in the communities here. Zach East is here to give us an update. What's happening?
It is busy season for a lot of events at United Way of Southwest Michigan. One you wouldn't think of for this time of year, and that would be School Supply Spectacular for Cass County. Kids and perhaps parents are probably just, not exactly excited to hear anything related to school.
There was a collective sigh of frustration there.
I understand.
We just got out for summer.
But what this happens to be is it's registration to receive school supplies for free, plus a backpack for Cass County students. So if you, for example, reside in Eau Claire, but you go to, schools in Cass County, you would qualify for something like this. Certainly if you live in and attend school in Cass County. What we're looking for are, year after year, we've certainly supported the Cass County community with backpacks to assist those families who are in and below the ALICE population that are truly in need, and this little leg up for them can usually help quite a bit down the line for all the other expenses that are related to schools, but certainly expenses related to working families, or if you think of senior citizens who might be supporting some of their own families due to different situations. All of those folks on fixed income certainly would welcome the opportunity to get this free backpack with some school supplies, which we've done for many years as part of our work in Cass County. So that registration is now open as of yesterday. Okay. But I will tell you, as we sort of assumed the need would be high, the need is quite high. So we have, 2 locations that we were doing work in. And this is in August, by the way.
Okay.
School Supply Spectacular pickups will happen in August, but we need these registrations to happen now.
And the registration is, hey, I'm raising my hand. We're going to need these school supplies.
Yes.
Okay.
So you just go to schoolsupplyspectacular.com, and there's a registration point there that right now, sorry, I don't know where the frog is coming from.
Pollen. There's
Yes.
a lot of it hanging around the studio this morning. Yeah.
You would only be able to go to Cassopolis at this point because Marcellus is already sold out of backpacks.
Oh, wow.
Within one day.
Wow. Yeah. That is a great need.
Yeah. So the anticipation, of course, will be that before we potentially even end this week, that we might even be already full and have all 850 backpacks spoken for. So if you are anywhere in the Cass County area, you have school children there. Again, if you're in, Berrien County, but you send your kids to Cass schools, get to the website, get them registered. And again, this is only for families that are truly in need. If you can, leave these for folks who are truly in need, we would appreciate it quite a bit. And Debbie and her team at United Way have just been, they planned for this for months on end. They have tons of supplies being delivered all over the place. They line up the volunteer groups that actually come together to pack these backpacks, because that's a huge undertaking too. That's a day-long event.
Because these backpacks don't arrive already ready to go.
No.
Everything is an individual component, and your team has to assemble it for the kids. Yeah,
and we take the time to actually look for the best bulk prices in different places, like some of our partnerships with Meijer and other places to get supplies at as, reasonable of a cost as we possibly can. And then make sure that we can stuff as much as we can in there as well, because if we've saved enough money, we can put more in, of course.
Yeah.
And so it's incredibly important that the team does all that work. Then they line up some volunteers to help us pack those backpacks in July. And then in August, we'll end up giving those out at those two locations, Cassopolis and Marcellus. On August 12th in Marcellus, August 13th in Cassopolis. So though it seems like a ways away,
it's right
this registration is pretty important to us so we can get everything organized.
Once again, the website for people interested in partaking.
Schoolsupplyspectacular.com, and you can also go to uwsm.org if you don't want to spell all that out. So there's buttons there, of course. And I want to say a huge thank you. We take usually none of the donations that come into United Way for campaign and corporate donations. We tend to have all these grants and partnerships that help us pay for these supplies. Those folks include the American Electric Power Foundation, the Michigan Gateway Community Foundation and Youth Advisory Council, Gast Manufacturing, the St. Denis Foundation, Whirlpool Corporation, Corewell Health, Michigan Works, Berrien Cass Van Buren, Silver Beach Pizza, the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber, Blue Cat Consulting, Lions Manufacturing, Helping Hands of Cass County, Invenergy, and the Edward Lowe Foundation are all the people that help us make sure that these supplies get into the hands of Cass County residents in August. So
outstanding. Well, thank you to you and the volunteers and the companies that are sponsoring this, the organizations that are sponsoring this to make this possible, to help 800 kids make sure that they start their school year properly.
Yeah.
In August or September.
Yes.
Which is just around the corner. So sleep in today.
Yes. And again, parents, you need to be the ones to do the registering, not the kids. So kids, don't worry about school right now. Let the parents think about it.
All right. And for general information about United Way of Southwest Michigan,
uwsm.org. If you can give, advocate, or volunteer for any of the work that needs to be done in our community, you will certainly be a great partner to us. Whatever you can do to help is always helpful.
All right. Very good. Zach East, United Way of Southwest Michigan. Thank you for the update. United.
Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, United We Thrive. 8:23. It's the WSJM Morning Show. More coming up next.